Across the Blotnick tonight, the city of Superior is going to be seeing public transportation available in more of the city this year. Northern News Now's Ella Schoberl takes a look at changes that residents might expect.
To increase ridership, the DTA implemented the Better Bus Blueprint in 2023, cutting stops with low engagement in Superior.
This is where a Billings Park bus stop used to stand for residents.
But the initiative left Billings Park and South End residents with little to no public transportation around the city. Tuesday, two Superior city councilors proposed to increase DTA funding to expand transit further across the city.
We're seeing that this is a need for our entire community because it connects different areas of the city together and it gets people to where they need to go and have to go.
The proposed route would restore service to the Billings Park neighborhood, expand to the South End neighborhood, and overlap routes in East and downtown Superior.
Frequency and how often your bus comes, that's really the secret sauce to making transit reliable.
Mayor Jim Payne, who supported the Better Bus Blueprint that eliminated these routes several years ago, said ridership is up 30% since then, paving the way for their return.
The Better Bus Blueprint was an effort to stabilize and increase service on the remaining routes. They went later and they went more often, and it worked.
He said that with this proposal, the goal is to continue that trend while expanding access across the city.
This is about bringing new people to the bus, to make sure that people connect to the workforce, to make sure that they can connect to jobs, so that they can go out shopping in their community.
In Superior, Ella Schoberl, Northern News Now.
And that resolution was approved by the Superior Public Works Committee tonight. It's going to go before the full council next month. If approved, DTA officials predict routes will be restored by March and expanded to South Superior by August.